So you are interested of traveling to Brazil and want to know more about it? Stay tuned. Welcome to another episode of Travel Tip Wednesday. Today's episode, we are going to talk about Brazil. As I actually spent about almost an entire year in Brazil, I would like to give you some of my tips about traveling to Brazil. All right, so because I am a U.S. citizen, U.S. citizen actually needs a visa to travel to Brazil. Doesn't matter if it's for tourists, for business, to live over there, or for whatever. We United States citizens, we need a visa in order to travel to Brazil. Normally, you could go to a consulate, apply online for a visa. I know this is something new for them, that now you could apply for a visa online and get approval right away, but this visa is only for like 2 years. You could get the traditional visa that will last about 10 years. If you are a citizen from another nation, you could actually go to the Brazilian consulate website and check to see if there's any requirements for you that need a visa to travel to Brazil. One of the most interesting parts of traveling to Brazil, especially if you travel by plane, is that Brazil is one of the few countries that allow passengers traveling to and from Brazil internationally to bring in 2 checked luggages for free. Yes, I mean, that is so amazing. The first time I went there and I saw that rule, and I was like, oh, I could take 2 luggage at 70 pounds or 32 kilos each for free. Now, depending on the airlines, you are allowed to bring 23 kilos or 50 pounds to fly to Brazil. When you get to Brazil at the airport, of course, you're gonna have to exchange your money to their local money. They actually use the Brazilian real. Is one of the strongest currency in Latin America. Once I arrived to the airport, the currency was for $1 US, they will give you 3 reals with 20 cents per the dollar. That was the first time ever in Latin America that I felt so little money for $1 US, because when I travel to other countries in Latin America, I'm used to seeing 50 pesos for the dollar or 3,000 pesos for the dollar, depending on the country. And just keep in mind that the currency in Brazil is very high or very strong. Yes, and one of the most important things to know about when traveling to Brazil is they use the Type C power outlets. As I am from America, pretty much from Colombia all the way to the Caribbean up to North America, they use the Type A power outlets, the 110 volts Type A. I noticed that a lot of the old houses in Brazil, they have the combination of the Type A and Type C power outlets. So I actually recommend you to purchase a universal power adapter, because in Brazil they actually use the Type C 220 volts power outlets. So if your country is not a Type C 220 volt power, just purchase this universal power. Best time to travel in Brazil is actually from December to March. It's actually the summertime down in the southern hemisphere. So if you're actually from the northern hemisphere, December, January, February, March is the best time to travel to South America, especially Brazil, because it's summertime down there. And just to let you know, because it's summertime, it is the high travel season, so a lot of the transportation, hotels are expensive during that time. And talking about traveling, one of the best way to travel in Brazil is actually by bus. Air travel in Brazil is so expensive. I mean, it is ridiculous expensive. Normally there is no low cost carriers like there is in the United States, Canada, and Europe. So there is competition. There are 3 main Brazilian airlines. There's Gol, Latam, and Azul. But it's still expensive. For example, I'm so used to flying from New York to Los Angeles, I could get a round trip for $300, or New York to Miami for less than $200 round trip. For the same distance, let's say the same distance from New York to Miami in Brazil, it will cost me about $400, $500, $600 round trip. I mean, it is ridiculous expensive. And imagine just flying from the two extremes of Brazil, from the south to the north. I mean, it would probably run you about $800-$900. I mean, there was this one city that I wanted to fly to, because by bus it was going to take me about 3 days to reach there. It cost me about almost $700 round trip just to travel to that location, and it's not even a popular destination. I mean, it's ridiculous expensive. But don't worry, when you're traveling by bus in Brazil, the buses, their seats are so comfortable. They're pretty much like love seats, to be honest. They're seats in the bus, depending on the company of the bus line. But I noticed they have ample leg room down in Brazil. These buses, I mean, they're so comfortable. They recline very generously. I mean, sometimes even better than traveling by bus than flying on plane. I mean, you may reach your destination, I mean, later. It may take longer to reach there, but I actually recommend it, traveling by bus, because it's cheap and it's very comfortable. It's not, and most of the buses are pretty much new, depending on the region you're from. If you're actually traveling to Sao Paulo or the southern part of Brazil, most of the buses are brand new, and I recommend it. And remember, Brazil is pretty much so huge, more than half of the continent. So each region of the country is so different. The southern part of Brazil, mostly the states from Sao Paulo and south, those states are pretty much developed. They actually look European. There's a lot of economic activities. Let's say they're rich states, and you can see it from the streets, the roads, the houses. I mean, it doesn't even look like a third world or a developing country. It looks like a first world country. So the further north you go, the more poorer it gets. Where I stood in the state of Minas Gerais. It's pretty much the borderline with developed and third world. You can see the difference. You can see the difference. And the further north you go, I've been to the northeast of Brazil, and it was poor. It was poor. It's so different compared to the south. The roads weren't that great. The buses, public transportation, they were pretty much beat down. It looked like a third world country in the north. But I'm gonna tell you, this is where the best beaches are at in Brazil, northeast. I mean, not to scare you off. I mean, I still recommend you to travel the northeast of Brazil. I mean, you will not regret it. But there is a big level of poorness in the north compared to the south. Talking about each region, also the food is different in each region. The way people cook, the way what people eat in each part of the country, it is so different. Talking from the southern part of Brazil, where there is a lot of Italian descent. I mean, I know for sure they love to eat pizza, the Italian style pizza down there, and pasta. There's a lot of German descent down as well in the southern part of Brazil, especially from Bahia and up. There's a lot of African influence there, so there's a lot of African influence in the food as well. So you actually can see the difference in the food. And it's pretty much good. I mean, each region has their own exquisite cuisine, and I love it. I mean, I love the variety of the food within that country. And lastly, the people are so nice down there in Brazil, especially with foreigners. I mean, when they see a foreigner, they go the extra mile so the foreigner could actually feel like home and feel special when they're in Brazil. They also want the foreigners to feels great about Brazil, especially when they travel back, so they could explain, hey, Brazil was so great, the people were amazing. I mean, people are very hospitable with other people, especially with foreigners down there. Even until today, I'm still getting a lot of messages every week. Hey, when you're coming back to Brazil, we miss you here. I mean, come back and visit us. I mean, I would love to visit Brazil, to be honest. Is in the plan, is in the pipeline to spend about 3 months down there, traveling to different region of the country and document places so I could share with you a little bit of Brazil. And that is it for Travel Tip Wednesday. If there's any Brazilian watching this video and they could give us more tips about traveling to Brazil, you could actually comment down below. And I want to say thank you to everyone for watching this video. If you actually like this video and want to see more videos like this of me giving tips about traveling to Brazil or Colombia or the Dominican Republic or any other the places that I visit, just let me know and comment, subscribe, and like this video. And until next time, safe travels.